Member for Essex.
Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to rise to speak to the report stage of Bill C-15, an act to implement provisions of the Liberal government's first budget, which was tabled earlier this year on March 22nd. I'd like to thank the NDP finance critic, the honourable member for Rimouski, Niget, Temuscata, Les Basques, for the incredible amount of work he's done on this and other files. We've had a lot of debate in this place about the omnibus nature of C-15. While the government claims that it is not an omnibus bill, New Democrats have pointed out many similarities between C-15 and the omnibus budget bills we saw from previous Conservative governments. C-15 is 179 pages long, amends over 30 different statutes, refers to 9 different ministers, and impacts several others. It includes various retroactive changes in addition to a complex chapter on bank recapitalization. Clearly, this bill contains many more important elements that deserve proper study, which unfortunately it did not receive. C-15 should have been split up so that changes to veterans' benefits, employment insurance, and our banking system receive proper study. The NDP proposed amendments to fix and improve this bill at committee stage. We are also recommending changes at report stage, including a call for the government to fulfill its election commitment to small and medium-sized businesses. For many years, the NDP has called for a reduction to the small business tax rate from 11 to 9%. It's part of our vision for job creation. The Conservatives agreed with us in their last budget, and in the 2015 election, all 3 parties, the NDP, Liberals, and Conservatives, pledged to reduce the tax rate to 9%. But the Liberal budget misses the mark by only reducing the rate to 10.5%. In my riding of Essex, small businesses create good local jobs and play an integral role in our communities. The Liberals' broken campaign pledge will cost small business owners money and hurt their bottom lines. There are several positive measures in Bill C-15 that I support. It will restore the tax credit for Labour-sponsored funds. It will add feminine hygiene products to the list of zero-rated products for taxation purposes, an initiative that my colleague from London, Fanshawe, worked tirelessly to advance. C-15 will also eliminate the income splitting scheme. They'll raise GIS rates for seniors and repeal the Conservatives' legislation to raise the age of retirement from 65 to 67. All of these issues are important to the people of Essex that I represent. I'm pleased to see that the budget fulfills a commitment to reopen 9 Veterans Affairs offices closed by the Conservatives, including the Veterans Affairs office in Windsor. Make no mistake, none of these Veterans Affairs offices should have been closed in the first place. When people in Windsor, Essex learned of the imminent closures, they came together and raised their voices in protest. Their determination and hard work has no doubt led to the government's promise to reopen our Veterans Office. I will follow this file closely to ensure it offers quality service for our veterans, including improved financial aid and mental health services. Unemployment insurance. The Liberal government said repeatedly it would reverse the unfair changes made by the Conservatives. These promises have unfortunately been significantly downgraded. They did not establish an equitable and universal eligibility threshold to put EI back on track and won't reduce the waiting period to 1 week until 2017. Several months ago, the NDP introduced a motion proposing changes to EI that would truly improve access and increase benefits to those who need them most. I'm disappointed to see the Liberals voted against our plan, and instead we see changes that won't achieve the strong EI system our country and its workers deserve. Mr. Speaker, I've met with many in our region who are deeply concerned about the future of Canada's auto sector, particularly in relation to the disharmonization that would be created by the Trans-Pacific Partnership. From the parts sector to the assembly line where I used to work, people in Essex are worried about their jobs and the competitiveness of our industry. The region of Essex, which I'm so proud to represent, has lost nearly 12,000 auto manufacturing jobs between 2001 and 2013. It's a trend that started under the previous Liberal government and continued under the Conservatives. We must tackle these worrisome job losses head-on. Instead, the new Liberal government has signed Canada onto what's been called the worst trade deal ever, a deal that puts thousands more auto jobs at risk. The Prime Minister likes to proclaim on the world stage that Canada is back, but when it comes to manufacturing, this is unfortunately not the case. We desperately need an automotive and manufacturing strategy now more than ever. If we don't create a strategy and aggressively seek new investment, we will continue to lose jobs to other jurisdictions. I have heard an incredible level of support for the NDP's auto plan, which would make better use of the Auto Innovation Fund and the Supplier Innovation Program. Our plan would also make it easier for automakers to set up operation in Canada by creating iCanada, a one-stop shop with access to all 3 levels of government and dedicated staff working to bring investment to Canada. As an MP who represents rural communities across Essex, I welcome the government's commitment to improving access to broadband internet. But this commitment alone falls far short of the support that farmers have asked for. The budget makes no provision for promised compensation for farmers that will be hurt by trade deals like the TPP and CETA, even as the government continues to push to ratify these deals. These trade deals chip away at Canada's supply-managed industries at a time when we should be strengthening family farms and ensuring that they have the tools they need to remain viable. The budget shortchanges promises for new funding for agricultural research and value-added production, and also for the Canada Food Inspection Agency by more than $130 million over 2 years. I must also reiterate my call on the government to finally implement a PACA-like payment protection system for fresh fruit and vegetable growers. Producers have called on this for years, but their pleas fell deaf ears under the Conservatives. They've been so hopeful that things would finally change, and were disappointed to see no commitment to PACA in the Liberal budget. The absence of a PACA-like system hurts farmers' ability to export and exposes them to unnecessary costs and great financial risk. I introduced a motion calling for action and a resolution by the end of the year, which received support from the Windsor-Essex Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Ontario Greenhouse Vegetable Growers, and the Canadian Produce Marketing Association. My friends at the Agricultural Committee have also been studying the issue, and witness after witness is calling for a PACA-like system. This shouldn't be a political issue. Farmers just want to see the solution they're asking for be implemented. I am determined to work with my colleagues to move this file forward for farmers so they can get the protections that they deserve. My riding of Essex is home to a short-line rail service called the Essex Terminal Railway. These 54 kilometers of rail service run from the east side of Windsor through LaSalle and end in Amherstburg. It is integral to the economic strength of our region and provides jobs and economic competitiveness while reducing congestion and pollution on our roads. The short-line rail industry has made several requests of Budget 2016, including a 7-year capital funding program to help the industry improve existing infrastructure, expand its network to meet new federal regulations. While they'll be disappointed that the Liberal budget neglected their requests, I look forward to working with our local partners in support of the Essex Terminal Railway. On a similar note, our Windsor-Essex region is excited for the prospect of high-speed rail. Rail investments such as this would usher in a new era of economic opportunities for our region. As the only OECD country without high-speed rail, I urge Canada to move forward and seize the potential of rail investments to stimulate economic growth in all of our communities. As a Member of Parliament of Essex, I'm committed to working closely with municipalities in my riding to seek funding opportunities for improving and restoring historical and federally owned buildings. This will help our region and protect and celebrate our heritage while creating new opportunities to attract tourism. Speaking of tourism, I'm also committed to being a strong partner for vintners in my region. Essex County is home to nearly 20 wineries, producing award-winning wines and attracting tourists from afar. The Canadian wine industry contributes nearly $7 billion to the Canadian economy and is working hard to increase international exports as well as their domestic market share. I have met with wine producers in Essex County, and I support their call for greater federal government support to support the industry's continued development. Madam Speaker, I have spent a lot of time looking at this budget and what it means to the people that I represent. I'd like to end on a positive note. I'm thrilled that the government has increased funding for the Canada Summer Jobs Program. This will mean more students in Essex will get valuable, paid work experience to help them build the skills they need to succeed in today's job market. It also supports local businesses and organizations with talented young people who are eager to learn and contribute. I look forward to working with the government on this file and will work hard to help the people of Essex access available funding from all government grants and funding streams. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, my apologies, I'm honored to serve as the representative for Essex and to stand up for their priorities each and every day.
Questions and comments, questions et commentaires. The Honorable Parliamentary Secretary to